I confessed to you in my last book haul video, my birthday book haul video, that there would be a part 2 because I have no self-control. Part 2 has arrived. So it's actually already open, mostly because I had some assistance opening it. I was working when it arrived, and I just kept being like, Miso, no! And Miso was like, Miso, yes! And he just wanted to open it. He's actually right below me now because he knows he's been summoned, and you'll probably see him come up at some point. But I haven't taken the books out of the box yet. Some of them I've read, some of them I haven't read, and I can't wait to tell you about them and why I ordered them. There's a lot. I went a little out there. Let's go. Let's see what's going on. Okay, first one I see is Richard Matheson's I Am Legend. This I listened on audio last fall, so like not the most recent Halloween, but the Halloween before that. It was terrifying. This is one of the best like lone survivor vampire zombie short stories, novellas that I have ever read. I loved it. And while the cover doesn't say that there are other stories in here, there are other stories in here, and they are creepy. Also, if you know the title of this from the Will Smith movie, you don't actually know the plot of this because they change it significantly in the Will Smith movie, but there is an old Vincent Price movie that I watched after having read this, and the adaptation is stellar, and I'm currently in like a classic horror binge. I loved it. I highly recommend it to you. I'm so glad to have a copy. There's some short stories in the back I really want to revisit. So that's purchase number 1. I think I got this for about $4. And it has good flop. I'm just gonna build my little pile here out of sight, and then I'll show you at the end. Okay, so I kept going with horror. I have been meaning to read this for ages. I got a copy of The Exorcist. I haven't seen any of the movies. I used to be really a wuss, and now I'm very into horror, so I need to go back and see some of that catalog, but anything that's based on a book. Like, I haven't seen Rosemary's Baby. I want to read Rosemary's Baby first. I haven't seen The Exorcist. I want to read it first. This is going straight on my bedside table. I can't wait for the nightmares. It sounds fantastic. Ruth Ozeki, my beloved. I'm actually so happy because when I was ordering this, I got, like, the edition I saw just had a sack of potatoes on the cover, and it was this, like, beige cover. And I wasn't super into it, but I'm like, okay, whatever. It's like $6. It's worth having, but it's actually the beautiful cover. And I've read her 2 other books, and I love them. They were both 5-star reads. These are her earlier books from before she was more famous. I love her voice. I love the way she makes me feel. I can't wait to read more Ruth Ozeki. I can't wait to think about the meat industry. And I don't entirely remember what this is about. A woman who sets foot in her hometown after she ran away at age 15, 25 years later. She comes back to confront her dying parents. Okay, I can't wait to cry at this book. That's going to be really fun. But it's so beautiful, and it really matches the other books that I have of hers. This one's also pretty beautiful. I can't wait. I can't wait. Like, literally, the moment I'm going to be in, like, a emotional Litfic mood, I'm going to have to choose between these 2. I'll probably start with the longer one. This next one I haven't read because I only recently got into reading nonfiction and nature writing, but this is like a critical piece of nature writing, both historically and in my personal context, because it is the book actually that my partner was reading when we first started talking, and it was the first book that he and I talked about that I hadn't read and he had. And that is Rachel Carson's Silent Spring. This is the 40th anniversary edition of it. I also have the 40th anniversary edition of The Exorcist, so a lot of 40-year-old literature going on. I still haven't read this, but I'm really interested in nature writing and climate writing and all these kinds of things. This copy is technically for my partner because he no longer has his old copy, but I plan on stealing it. I'm just not allowed to annotate it. I should have gotten 2. They were $7. I have a little bit of regret about that. I should have gotten 2, but oh. It's shiny though. I'm not super into shiny. I don't like glossy. I prefer matte. Like, see, this one doesn't shine. Well, this one, it's just like catching the light. I have my little seasonal affective disorder lamp actually lighting me, and it's very, very bright, which is why this keeps catching a really bright angle and why you see bright light. off the corner of my TV here. Okay, let's keep going. There's more books. I've ordered like 17 books. I have a problem. So the tally so far is 1 book I've read and 4 books I haven't read. Yeah, that's the tally so far. We're gonna add a 5th book that I haven't read, which when I saw this, okay, it's thicker than I thought it would be. Oh, this is dope. Okay, I have admitted to myself that I enjoy vampire fiction. I do. I like Dracula. I like Interview with the Vampire. I love Octavia Butler's Fledgling. I loved Let the Right One In. I've admitted this to myself. I do actually like vampire fiction. So when I saw this on discount for like $5 and then was reading the Goodreads reviews and people are saying it's one of the best anthologies they've ever met, the stories slap. They start with like the Byron and you know, like the Shelley, etc. Stories. There's a lost chapter of Stoker's Dracula in there as well that stands alone as a short story, and it goes all the way up to I think 1980s modern fiction, so it really gives an overview of vampire fiction. And oh, I thought it would be like 300 pages. It's 600 pages. It's 600 pages of vampires. We're leading into vampires. We're leading into them hard. I'm so excited. If you read this, please tell me that it's good. If it's not good, please warn me, because I have such high expectations right now and I'm not ready to have my heart broken if this is actually terrible. But I have a feeling it's going to be amazing. So Bookoutlet also has stuff that are not books but are book adjacent, and I am currently on this big quest to reduce my screen time. This is motivated by a few different things. Notably, I don't feel good if I look at a screen for a very long time, but especially in the context of my migraines, sometimes I really don't tolerate a lot of light, a lot of changes in screens, and I am really trying to find a lot of nice analog activities. And while I'm not really a coloring book person, how could I resist this? A dazzling, beautiful creation, a maddeningly difficult, extreme coloring challenge. I am currently on a quest to find the most extreme and difficult versions of normal puzzles and do them. I've been playing a lot of Sudoku variants on my phone, and last video I also told you about a word search that I'm doing and within the neuroscientist that I have a feeling will take me all year. I've currently found about 20 of the 140 words and I've been at it for a week. So this is apparently a difficult coloring book. It's only colored on one side, so I can really like mess around. I can use paints, I can use some markers, and it's just like detailed and beautiful and kind of horrific. I haven't looked into this at all. I love the photo on the cover, the little like Bear Island situation, very surreal. There's a good octopus. That's very important to me. We love a good octopus. Okay, I'm so excited. This is gonna be like, while I listen to audiobooks, I'm gonna color this in when I'm not doing some of my other analog activities. But yeah, this was also like $5. I couldn't resist. It looked beautiful and it was $5. Why not? So the tally is now 1 book I've read, 5 books I haven't read, and 1 thing that's not a book. Here's the second thing that's not a book. I love puzzles. This is a 1,000-piece puzzle in like a library. There's a fantasy section, a sci-fi section. The guy is wearing oh, there's a brain in a jar. Nice. Manga section, graphic novel, romance, poetry, mystery, and there's all these accessories, and in the middle we have great literature. I was reading it off the back. It's the same picture on the back as it is the front. I love doing puzzles. This one is called In the Bookstore, and yeah, I saw this for cheap. I've been trying not to buy puzzles. I actually have been getting them from the library or doing puzzle exchanges with friends because storage issues, but how could I resist? How could I resist? So those are the 2 things, the coloring book and the puzzle, that I got that weren't books. But I got more books. I got more books. Did I buy 2 or did they just send me 2? Do you want one? This is so exciting. It means I can throw a copy at someone. I meant to only buy 1. I listened to the entire trilogy on audiobook summer before last, so a year and a half ago, And I realized that I really want a copy or maybe two copies, I don't know, of the book. The reason this was, I didn't know this. I didn't know this happened. This is so funny to me, especially because I wanted 2 and 3, but Book Outlet didn't have it. But they keep kind of getting them back in small batches, having them out of stock, and vice versa, and in circles. You know what I'm trying to say. The book comes into stock, the book goes out of stock, comes back into stock. I'm just gonna hold this as one because I can see myself in the camera, and doing this is really tripping me up. Like, if you haven't read this and enjoy sci-fi, especially hard sci-fi that treats you like you're intelligent, I really recommend picking it up. It only gets better. Like, the first book is actually the worst, I would say, of the series, because where the author takes it in the second and third is just an absolute masterpiece. The third just dazzled me. But even the first did, and I kept thinking, like, okay, I listened to them on audio, but I would really like to look at it. And I would really like to be able to mark some of the most visually striking scenes, because there's some really visually striking scenes in here. And I have avoided watching the Netflix series. I heard that some of the creative liberties they took were not good. And also, I canceled my Netflix subscription like a year and a half ago because analog. So this is exciting. I need to find a human to give my second copy to. I think I have someone in mind. So this raises my tally of books I read to 2/3. I feel like I definitely just added this to my cart twice and didn't notice because of how cheap it was. Thanks, Book Outlet. I appreciate you. This pile's getting unwieldy. I'm glad it's out of frame because I think it's gonna fall. Oh my god, no, stop. Stop. Guys, what did I do? I don't know what to say. I have no excuses. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Thanks, Miso. He's like, oh, there's enough room in the box now. Yeah, there's enough room because I took out... It's killing me. What? My boyfriend's gonna come back and I'm gonna be like, I have to hide this because he's just gonna be like, what did you do? Buddy, we're recording a video. You can eat package paper later. He really likes eating cardboard and paper. And it's better than him eating plastic. Buddy, there's more books in here. There's still more books in here. Oh my god. I might just put these back in the box. I guess I will be a 3-body problem fairy. I definitely just accidentally added this to my cart repeatedly because one of the things I do when I feel like buying stuff... One of the things I do when I feel like buying stuff is I add stuff to cart on Book Outlet. I look at the total and then I move them and save for later. And then when I was checking out this, I moved some of the stuff from save for later back into my cart. And I have a feeling I just added 3-body problem 4 times into my cart. And they were all saved for later. And I didn't check because the total that I paid for this was not that much. So it didn't occur to me that I got 4 copies of a book. It's crazy to me that if I actually retailed this like properly, this is $100 worth of this book. And I paid something like $25. Well, that's pretty cool. Alright, buddy. I'm gonna squish you with the book. Or are you gonna let me grab this other stuff that's in here? He's like fully like becoming a cinnamon bun. Oh. Okay, got some books. I have got more books. Buddy, I'm gonna squish you with 3-body problem. You ready? What you think is happening right now is exactly what is happening right now. I've laid the books on top of him and he's just vibing. He's very happy. I will show you everything else and we'll just pretend that didn't happen. I feel like I need to say this wasn't staged. This was just me Yeah, I need to figure out what to, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these copies. Am I just gonna leave them at every like free little library? I don't know. I don't know, but it's gonna be fun. I'm pulling out another book that I read. This was my first. I'm always scared I'm gonna say her name wrong. This was my first Samantha Schweblin, and this book was a very literal fever dream. It's an amazing book in unreliable narration by someone who is actively losing their mind, and you as the reader have to piece together what's happening and why they are actively losing their minds. It's a horror book, but it's also surrealist, and I really liked it. And it motivated me to pick up another one of her books, which I know I got here. I just saw it. I read this one in December, so I read it only a month ago, and it definitely made it on the list of my best books of 2024, which is a video that I'm currently working on. It is coming. Or I may have released it before this one. I don't know. I'm kind of doing both of them at the same time. I need to talk with my hands, so I'll put this away. This was amazing. This was absolutely amazing. I actually ended up reading it in essentially a night, over many hours. It's a collection of short stories, kind of, that are loosely connected about people who buy these stuffed animals that have a webcam in them and can be controlled by the person who sees you in the webcam. So it's basically a voyeurism program, not unlike YouTube. And this book really made me think about whether I wanted to come back to YouTube or not. Because there's an appeal that when you buy one, you know that someone out there is like interacting with you all the time. They're like your interactive pet, and and you can like just talk to them, but you don't know who they are, and you're randomly assigned one person. And then that has a lot of social consequences, a lot of very different social consequences that are really explored in this book in an absolutely stellar way through a cast of, I don't know, 15 different main characters and many Ripley stories. So there's a lot of like concepts around voyeurism and alienation and social media and exactly the kind of stuff that I am currently doing. I don't know who you are that is watching me, but I'm making this content anyway. I'm letting you into my home. I'm letting you see this moment. You are one of the little eyes. Take that as you will. The moment I finished this, I was like, I need a copy. I need a copy, and I need to read more Samantha Schweblin. Well, guess what else was on sale? She has not one. This would have been more dramatic if I actually managed to find the right book. She has not one, but two. She has not one, but two short story collections that I'd actually borrowed from the library digitally when I was shopping. And then I saw these and I'm like, they're $5 each. I'm buying other Samantha Schweblin anyway. I'm ready to commit to a love of her. And I was reading reviews as well. People didn't love this one as much. And this one had very mixed reviews, but multiple said that the first 4 short stories are so amazing that it's worth getting the book. And that was motivation enough for me. I can't wait to review these for you. And I mean, mostly I can't wait to read them, but also we have this parasocial relationship voyeurism thing going on, so I can't wait to tell you about it. And also to hear about whether you've read it. Did you like these? Are they worth it? Which one should I start with? Actually, that question applies also to the Ruth Ozeki and everything else that in my pile that I haven't read. That question doesn't apply to my 4 copies of The 3-Body Problem. I'm a proud owner of quadruplets. Is this how parents feel when they find out that they're having twins? Okay, I have 2 more. I'd like to say I was good, but I wasn't. I don't even know if I liked How to Sell a Haunted House that much. I think I mostly liked it. How I feel about Grady Hendrix is that I am fully entertained and I'm fully engaged. And this book has an evil puppet in it. And that puppet, I'm not scared of puppets or clowns or usually things like that. That puppet actually scared me, and I don't usually get scared while reading. I enjoyed this book. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a solid 3.5, 4-star fun. And it was cheap. And I just got another Grady Hendrix book in my main birthday haul. And I was feeling impulsive. So So it has like these dark margins. What a mood. Oh, it's the 5 stages of grief. Okay. Yeah. Anger. There we go. Oh, the first 2 stages are very short in here. Denial, very brief, and then there's only a few pages left. Or no, acceptance is over here. I'm silly. Acceptance is at the end. So yeah, see, it's like striated, and those are the stages of grief. But yeah, overall this was fun, and I did enjoy it, and I bought a copy because I want to be able to lend it to those friends of mine that have not embraced digital reading, but could probably use this book in their lives, or at least to be briefly entertained. Are you emerging? Are you emerging from under the 12 body problem? Get it? 3 body problem, 4 times the 12 body problem. Oh, buddy. He's being so good. He's so happy he has a box that's like exactly the right size for him. It's like nice and big. He keeps trying to get into boxes that are too small for him, while this one is actually providing enough heft. I got one more. This one I read. It was beautiful. I like the other cover better, but this one's still really nice. So this is The Light Pirate. It's the second novel of Lily Brooks-Dalton, the first one being Good Morning Midnight. And both of these are just so beautiful and lyrical and exactly my flavor of soft post-apocalyptic climate fiction. I think this one I also read it only in like 1 or 2 nights, and it made me feel big feelings. There's an... He's so loud. There's an older, like recluse independent scientist who does her own field work in this book, and she takes in our main character and is like a mentor to her, and I just love her so much. And that crash was my cat stealing my smartwatch, which I normally wear here, but that was charging. He pulled it out of the charger and knocked it on the ground so that he could chew on it. So that's what's going on. But what was I saying? There is a character in here. She's an older woman who is a biologist, and she collects samples during this climate, not apocalypse, but climate catastrophe in Florida. And she has a lot of preserves, and she's like a survivalist, and mentors our main character, our light pirate. And just, it's so good, it's so wholesome, and it's so like, I love books about human survival in the face of a destroyed planet or a destroyed society. I will be presenting some of my favorite examples of that because like this is exactly my genre. I love it. Okay, so that brings the total tally of books I've read, not including the 12 body problem. The box is otherwise empty. I actually can't believe I did this. Should I return them? Like, I don't know what to do. Like, it was funny when I thought there were only 2, but then there were 2 more. I don't know what to do. And the cat's... Oh, there he goes. I was like, he's thinking about it. Buddy, don't show your butthole to the audience. Good boy. Let's do a little final tally, a little final wrap up. All right, check this out. This is my entire haul, not including the 3/12 body problem, my puzzle, and my coloring book. Out of these books, I have read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5? That's it. Yeah. So that's pretty good. I feel pretty happy with that haul. He seems happy with the video. I think I made some really good choices, and I think I have effectively treated myself on my birthday, and I think that I will have to spread the love to at least 3 other people, because of my book shopping coping mechanisms of adding things to cart, saving for later, and doing so cyclically. This is possibly the most hilarious book related thing that has ever happened to me. I need to go put these away. I usually like to write a little like where I got it, when I got it. I also add them to my owned books on Storygraph and Goodreads so I know what my library looks like, because I am a perfectionist in those ways. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm also gonna get some groceries. He's gonna snooze right here, and you are gonna go read a book because you've just been watching me on a screen, and too much screen time isn't good for you. Go read one of these. Tell me if they're any good. All right, lovely to see you as always, and see you super soon. Bye. P.S. I was like, oh, 17 items. I feel like I ordered more like 12. Yeah. Moral of the story, double check your order.